Hi, I'm Sturk, and I got Fabio with me today, and we're gonna dig into some really cool phishing attack using an Azure-based website. Can you see if you can read my email now, Mr. Attacker?
Sure, I actually still can.
This wasn't supposed to happen. Fabio, how are we gonna do this?
Yeah, so what we're doing is that we have an application that is actually a malicious Office 365 application. What happens is that we send a link to a user is sent to our application, and we will actually request the user to log on to their Office 365 tenant and give our application permission to access the tenant as that user. The trick here is that you don't actually attack the authentication part. In the typical phishing, you request for username and password, and then you need to type that in to log on. But maybe you have MFA or conditional access measures, or maybe the user simply doesn't want to give out their username and password. So what we do here is that we bypass all that. We're actually targeting users that are already logged in, or if they are not logged in, they will be redirected to the actual real Office 365 login page, and then be redirected back to our application that is requesting permissions.
When used in a malicious way, it's really interesting. So let's just dive straight into the demo. I'm gonna be Megan for this one.
Cool. So what's gonna happen next is that I'm gonna send you an email.
Cool.
My dear Megan.
It's business as usual at Megan's. Megan's happy.
Yep. So subject, you got a raise.
Nice.
Hi, Megan.
Always been wanting to have a raise. Megan wants a raise today.
You should have an email, Megan.
Wow, I got an email from Fabio. This is I got a raise. Interesting. Your supervisor gave us the following information. Please click here to ensure you get the raise. Huh. I better click that one. Log me in, and it seems like I need to accept all this stuff so I can get access to my system. Should I do that?
Well, you're gonna get a raise, right? You better click that.
I'm just gonna accept it though.
You should probably accept it. I mean, it's a raise, right?
I wouldn't deny having a raise, but it didn't give me anything. It took me back to the normal page again. I'm gonna try it again for good sake.
Sure, but it's probably too late, because I got your token. Look here.
You got my token?
Got your token. You clicked accept, Megan. It's too late. It's a JWT token, which I can take, and I can put in my variable called token, and I can set my headers using your token that allows me to impersonate you, and then I can start calling the graph with your token to impersonate you. And well, this is you. This is your information, Megan. This is your email address and your title and all your information, where you live and so on. You had MFA and everything to log in, potentially,
Yeah.
The authentication actually doesn't matter. You got to the point that you were already logged on, you got a link. The link actually redirected you back to your Office 365 tenant. You were already logged on, you got an authenticated session there, so you just got redirected back to the place that it tells you, do you actually want to give this untrusted application access to your stuff? And you had a list of things that the application requested access for.
Right? On my phone, it just asked me, do you want to install the app? And you want to get everything? And I'm like, always. So
Do you read it?
No.
You
Should I
should.
read it?
You know what? The application actually asks you if it could, read your profile information and log you in. That's something standard that you would actually get by an external Azure tenant. If you're given guest access to a different tenant, it will give you access to it. Only the first time it will request you, by the way. Now you've done it already, so when you click it again, you're in. And now I just got a new token from you. So what happens is all of those list of things that you got requested the first time, I have access to it now. I can impersonate you for those privileges. And that one also said that I could, for example, let's see, get, read the directory information. So I can actually get a list of all the users that you can read in your directory with your token.
Oh no.
So these are actually all the people that work with you.
Oh.
You see them here? I can get all your emails because you have granted my application access to read your emails. So I can get them. So what I do is I query graph, Microsoft.com, blah, 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 messages. I can also send emails, yes. So these are all your emails. It's going to scroll for a while because you have lots of emails.
I do.
I'm gonna cancel it, but these are all your emails. See, receive date from blah blah blah.
I'm not comfortable with this. I don't like this at all. How can I make you not have access to this?
Well, you granted access to it, right? So you were actually prompted for it, and you said okay. The problem is that users usually have no idea about what they're accepting.
No.
And even though, sure, we should train our users, we should also not make it that easy for an attacker to accomplish this. Because, you know, we put so much effort in all the MFA stuff and all the conditional access and protection measures. So we are slowly getting better at making the authentication part more difficult. So maybe it's not enough for an attacker to steal username and password, because that's not the only thing that is needed to authenticate. But this makes it a little bit, more difficult to protect, because really you're bypassing the whole authentication part. You're just asking the user that is already authenticated, is this okay? And well, you just need one click, right?
I
So
didn't
what
log
you
in
should
at all. It didn't request me anything. It just this whole list of things that I thought kind of was trusted. It was Microsoft after all. It kind of looked like my stuff, and it was from my boss.
Oh, it was
so-
Microsoft. It wasn't a fake Microsoft. It was actually Microsoft. The thing is, you click the link and you open it in a browser where you already had an authenticated session to your Office 365 services. So the login was not even there because you were already logged in. If you were not logged in, it would redirect you back to the actual real Microsoft Online login page. It's and if you have MFA or conditional access, all of that will apply, and that's fine. And then after that, it will redirect you back to this application, which would then steal your token because you gave access to. That's it. It's done. You have authorized an untrusted application to access your data. And as an admin, you want to prevent your users from doing that.
Yes.
There is a setting.
I had the checkbox that I had the possibility to say that I could apply it for my whole organization. I didn't have those rights though. But if I was an admin and got that, does that mean that I will allow it for all the users?
Yeah, if you're an admin, you can do that, and then users won't even get prompted. That's jackpot. So what you do as an admin, try and prevent this, is you set a policy that prevents users from granting access to untrusted or potentially any application unless an admin pre-authorized that. Or you can request access for an application, and then an admin needs to review it and approve it, and then you can get access to it.
Okay. So my question though, is this checkbox that we're talking about the one that doesn't allow any externals to approve or whatever, is that checked by default, or is it something that an active measure that an admin needs to do to harden their environment?
That's a great question, and it's what makes it so powerful, is that by default, any user is allowed to grant access to any application. So an admin actually needs to actively get in there and make sure this is not the case.
I want to revoke this access now. I'm not too keen on having you having access to my emails. So is there any way for me as a user to revoke this?
Yeah, you can. I think you go to your profile.
Okay. I'm going to click my face here. Here I am. Here we are. My accounts. Office apps.
Should be somewhere there in your applications. You should be able to see the ones that you gave access to. App permissions. Like there you have it. You have something called phished 365. You can revoke it.
No app detection here. I'm going to revoke you. Bye now. Now you're revoked. So I'm just going to reload.
Let's see if that works. Let me check if I can still get your stuff. With your token that you already gave me. It's actually a good test. Well, I still can. So your token is actually still valid. It's going to eventually expire. But
I'm just going to log out.
That's probably still not going to help you. It's probably still not going to help you. What you need to do is that try log out, and then I'll try if this works again. And it should still work.
I'm just signing out now.
Yeah, you're signing out. I can still do this. I can still grab your data because your token that you gave me is still valid. What you need to do is that you need to log in, and you need to go to your profile, and you need to go under security, and you need to ensure that you disable all active sessions.
So I'm back in again. Here I am, security info. I'm gonna update my info here. Oh,
Then you do
security
log out everywhere at the bottom.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna log out everywhere. Are you ready? Are you gonna log out? Yeah, for sure. Okay, Mr. Cyber Criminal. See if you're able to steal my stuff now.
Well, you need to actually log out first.
Oh. Okay, now try it. See how cool you are now, if you can steal my information, Mr. Cyber Criminal.
I actually still can.
No! Okay, that's terrible. That's terrible. Anyway, at least we tried. You know, we killed all the sessions, we logged out, and we tried to remove it. So what you're saying is because this is terrible. I mean, we're probably doing something wrong somewhere, but eventually this is going to time out and you're not going to have access to my stuff. But I definitely...
Well, I won't be able to refresh it, right? But yeah, you should fucking been able to
right?
remove this. That's a nice finding if you can't.
So I logged out. I removed the permissions from the app and I killed all the sessions that are available in my control as a user, and you're still able to read my email. That is frightening. Could you maybe as an admin see if you're able to revoke it for me?
That we can do.
What we did now instead, that I'm currently logged in as an admin instead. So now I'm admin. I want admin guy. So we want to get back and see if we can kick this user out instead. So we found Megan, and now he's going to sign out all the sessions here. Phew, you have initiated a sign up for the user. It will take some time. Okay, Mr. Attacker. So now we apparently have signed out. Can you read my emails now?
See if we can read your info. I can still read your info. Can I read your email? Yeah, I can read your email.
Okay. That wasn't what
You're gonna have
planned.
to do better than that. You're gonna have to do something different. Let me check. I mean, I found a PowerShell way to do it, but not really a UI way to do it. You know what? Do like this. Go to portal.azure.com, Azure Active Directory, users. Go for Megan.
So we're Megan now, but we're Megan inside the Active Directory.
Yeah,
should we see
as
if we
an
can
admin,
revoke
yes.
the token in here? We can revoke sessions. Is that what we want to do?
That should maybe be it.
Yeah, let's see. So session has been revoked. Can you see if we can read my email now, Mr. Attacker?
Sure. I actually still can.
This wasn't supposed to happen.
I actually thought this would work.
Okay, so we logged out. We logged out of the application. We removed the application. We removed all active sessions inside Office 365, and we did that also as an admin for Megan. And now we're in the Azure directory as the admin, revoking all sessions for Megan. Should we delete Megan?
Is that really what you would do in production? I mean, you can disable the account, sure. Can you try and disable the account? I want to see if I still can do that. I mean, at this point.
Let's see if we can do that. So now instead of doing it inside the Azure directory, I went back to Office 365, and we're just going to block Megan now. So Megan, you're not allowed to sign in at all. Block this user from signing in. Save all the changes. Bye-bye, Megan. Oh, she'll be signed out within all the 60 minutes. So maybe we're just in the time frame of it's just taking time. So we know that you got 60 minutes for you to read my email. Mr. Attacker, could you read my email, please?
Sure. Oh, account disabled. Now you actually disable the account. But it was pretty hardcore. I mean, you had to actually disable the account.
That was good. I'm just going to unblock again. See that Megan's happy. Megan's back on track again. Megan's happy, which is cool. Could you please see if you can read my email again, now when it's not disabled? Okay, crap. So disabling it means that you're not allowed to log in anymore. But since we now unblocked her, there's not a new token getting in there, and the attacker is back in on the system reading my email again. At this time, it's quite hard to be Megan. Fabio, this is a terrible video. We're not providing solutions.
Okay. Okay.
Because
We
it's
prevented prevention, or we provided prevention, right? Because you should not allow Megan to do that in the first place. But how the fuck do you kick that out?
that is something we need to
It's
figure
a
out.
good question.
So we need to get back to the drawing table and figure things
No, but there must be a
out.
way. I want to call a
Otherwise-
sign. I want to call the wolf.
So what we realized is that it takes about an hour, right, for it to time out.
Exactly. So by default, that's the time you have, right? So what we did is that we have removed access for the application into the user configuration in the tenant. We have revoked all user sessions. The issue is that what we're doing is that we're not actually creating a new session. We're not doing it so-called login. We're using a token that is already valid and using that to access the graph application, which is its own application. So unless the application itself does what's called a continuous access evaluation, which is actually a feature that is in preview in Azure AD now for just a few applications, unless that's the case, then the application will access your or will accept your token for the time that the token is valid, and that is by default an hour. So even if you do revoke all the sessions and remove access from the application, then you still need to wait for that time. So the safest thing you should do is that you can disable the account for that time. At least you know that if a token has been stolen, it won't be able to be used for that time.
And no matter what you do, it's going to be an access for 1 hour. So even, so you'd really need to disable it because you can't get any access to any email or any other stuff. But if you don't do that, if you just log out, change the password, revoke all sessions and do that, it's not going to help. You still have that hour timing out. So the best precaution in this is simply to disable the functionality for user to actually enable it in the beginning. So if you want to disable this and make sure that this doesn't happen, we just have to enter the enterprise part here. We'll go down to consent and permissions. And this is where the settings where we just say that user will not be allowed to consent. And there will be an administrative request instead. So an administrator will be able to decide if this is a trusted application or not. So we're going to log into the Outlook part and see if we can click the link again and see if what happens. I'm not an admin. Don't have access to anything. And let's see what happens. Boom. You now need admin's approval to sign in. Fabio's application is apparently not trusted and should be evaluated before being allowed to share these tokens that we get with the sign-in. That really blocks it. Pretty simple solution to make. It's not checked in by default and something that you definitely should harden if you haven't already done so. Although, bear in mind, if a user is an admin, they're gonna get it anyway. So don't use your admin accounts when you're reading your email. So is there any takeaways you want to bring to this, Fabio?
Well, obviously prevention here goes a long way, right? I mean, ideally we don't want users to be able to authorize bad or untrusted applications. Then it's also important for responders to incidents and admins to know that if a user gets phished using this technique, you actually have to go in and disable the account for the duration of the token, because there is no real way to ensure that the end application that accepts the token will actually invalidate that if you do invalidate all the sessions from the Azure portal. That is something that Microsoft is working on. They have something called continuous access evaluation that is dependent on the destination application to make sure that or that the application reevaluates the token all the time. But if they don't do that, the token will be valid. You don't actually have a way to tell third-party apps or any external apps what to do with the token that was previously valid, right? So you're gonna have to trust the application for that.
Hi, I'm Stuck, and I'm here with Fabio. And today, can't have you laughing in the back end. So
okay,
breathe. We're gonna do it again. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Okay, I got 5 minutes, man. Let's do it. Whew.
I know. Hi, I'm Sturk, and I'm here with Fabio, and today we're going to look into a really interesting phishing technique using
Sorry, man.
Microsoft application. Okay.
Do it again. Okay, serious now.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sturk, and today I got Fabio with me. And hi, I'm Sturk, and okay. Okay, here we go. 3, 2. No, you can't keep your eyes closed. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. 2 deep breaths.